Zane Rowan for the Pats. To the Edmonton line, Parker Berg, wrist, shot stop, rebound in front, scores! The captain with goals in 3 straight. He's got his 14th of the season. The Broncos defenseman goes cross ice, and over the blue line comes Gould. Left side, a pass in front, and a great save by Huey. Holy smokes! Already our save of the night as he robs the Regina product in Brady Burney. Full tempo to Zachary Shans, back to the line. One-timer, Slaney scores! Keegan Slaney with the 2nd of the season as he blasts that one into the top corner. Kettles, right point, slap pass in front, great save by Huey! Oh my goodness, how did he get over? He robbed Wyrostock on the backdoor opportunity. Loose puck, Wilson, fire stop, rebound, scores! Jackson Vaughn!
Welcome to Pats Cast, the unofficial Regina Pats podcast. It's November 17th. It's episode 152. Chris here and Kevin there. How are you tonight, Kev?
Hey, okay. Not so much for the Pats, but I guess I'm doing okay.
Yeah. It wasn't the greatest week here, but it is what it is.
3 goals in 2 games is not a great week.
Yeah,
no matter how you spin it, you can spin it all you want.
No, not at all. Especially against 2 teams that are winnable games, right?
Not even just winnable games. 3 goals in 2 games in the Western Hockey League isn't very many goals.
No, not at all.
You need to score at least 3 or 4
a game,
especially when you're allowing 3 or 4 or 5 or 6.
Yeah. It wasn't.
For anybody. That's not just the Pats. That's just for everybody.
You're not scoring and you're letting in a bunch. Not a good recipe for success in this league or any league.
No, not at all.
Not at all. I just want to go back to the last episode. I kind of shortchanged Team Canada White. I said they didn't win a game, but they didn't win a game in regulation. The good old international standings had them 0-2-2 and 1, and I seen that on the screen when I was watching it, and I'm like, man, they haven't won a game, but it goes wins, overtime wins, losses, overtime losses. They got that differentiation between the wins because you get 3 points for a win and
the 3 points.
Yeah, right, and the only 2 points. So I seen 0-2-2, and I'm like, oh man, they didn't win a game in the preliminary round. But after I said that, I went back and I was like, nah, they couldn't have not won a game. But so
it was a small tournament, so it's. Yeah. I didn't follow it at all. I just saw that Temple was playing here and there, and that's it. So.
Right. I didn't follow it much at all until the gold medal game, and I kind of had that on while we were trying to watch the Pats game too. And then the Pats game's over. I put the Canada game on the TV instead of the laptop, and then I see the standings, and I just briefly flashed, and I was like, oh, that's weird. They didn't win a game until the medal round, and then they go all the way. So, but yeah. Anyways. So this week, not great on the ice, but at least we got other stuff to talk about. Lots of stuff happening off the ice. We'll touch on the trades and all the movement after we quickly go through these 2 games, because I don't think we want to spend too much time on that.
Definitely not. especially Wednesdays.
Yeah. Well, let's get to it, I guess, and get it over with. Wednesday it was ugly. Brad Hoff mentioned after the game, he's like, it feels like a trap game. He's like, I felt it during the day, and like, well, I don't want to say it's his fault or anything, but like, if it's a trap game, how did you let it be a trap game, right? Like, it just.
Yeah, I think the Pats really underestimated Edmonton, because Edmonton came off a bad game against Calgary. Yeah, and I think they really underestimated them.
Oh, totally.
But
right.
They did get a couple guys back from injury, so they're getting a healthy unit, because they were pretty strong at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, but they did just lose their leading goal scorer as well in that Calgary game. So
yeah, that's true.
They get a couple guys back, they lose a guy. So, but yeah, it was a trap game, and it turned into a trap game, and it was a trap game.
Yeah, when a team outworks another team, it usually ends up in the team that outworks the other team in a win. And I don't think the Pats really worked that hard. Hey,
No.
it is what it is. It was a Wednesday night. The Pats played a lot of Wednesday games. Hard to get it for those games, especially a team that got destroyed the previous one.
Yeah.
And the Pats looked like a defeated team almost right off the hop. As soon as Nash scored that shorthanded goal, it was downhill from there.
Yeah, it wasn't good at all. And like you said, the team who outworks the other team can usually win, and we've seen that with the Pats this year. They've won some games where they've outworked teams, right?
Exactly. They worked hard, and that game was just a game.
Yeah, nothing, right? And yeah, it was a tough start with the shorthand goal 6 minutes in. Just a bad bounce over Berg's stick, and Nash makes a nice play. You know, he's a 20-year-old in this league, and
he's been around.
He's been around. Yep. So. Yeah, and then they give up another one just a couple minutes later, and then it just
yeah, it just kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah, and not only the Oil Kings outworked them, but their physical play, their size, I think, really showed.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're really that physical. Even they're just big, and they just push the little Pats around.
Yeah, like their D, they're all their D are like really big, and we were just able to outplay the Pats, right? Like just
muscle the Pats.
Yeah,
and they got some big forwards like Yeko and Pilling and those guys. They got some pretty big size, like all the way around. And I don't know, Haroff didn't seem to think they got out physicaled or whatever you want to say. But
yeah, because I asked him about that. He's like, no, I don't think so. But
they were getting pushed around a little bit. I thought, anyway, just from watching from upstairs. But they looked like they were getting pushed around because
they were.
Because you got 150-ish pound guys playing forward positions, and it just happens when you have a 220-pound guy or whatever against 150 pound.
6'4", yeah,
there's like a 50-pound difference.
It was 6 inches.
They can kind of just push them around a little bit.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate, but hey, they'll bounce back. They'll bounce back. Hopefully.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, they didn't bounce back. But we said Swift Current, right?
Swift Current should be a lot better than they are, I think.
Yeah, and then going to Swift Current, like I said, like you said, stuff happens there, and it's a tough place to play for the Pats for some reason.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and I think Hugh A, we kind of thought Hugh A would get that start, and he deserved that start, and he did get the start, and he struggled a little bit. There's a couple he wanted back. For sure.
Yeah, I would say it was a couple. Yeah, which one? The third one, and then the fourth one that was underneath his pad.
Yeah, the one kind of
off his shoulder. Yeah.
And then the one under his pad. Yeah, that one just kind of slipped through, and it was like, tough. But I mean, it was like I said, we thought he deserved that start, and he got that start, and it just wasn't to be, and Pine came in, and I don't know. I mean, by that point it was 5-0. But he only let up one layer late.
Late on the power play.
Yeah. So, but and then
and they got to give credit to Lajoie. He can shoot, so that one.
Yeah, that was. Oh, yeah, that was. I don't think he even had a chance on that one, right?
No.
No.
Okay, enough of that game.
Yeah, well, and Regina's power play 0-4 again, right? Like, just struggling.
Yeah,
struggling.
And when they do get zone time, they work it around pretty good, but
they
just the passing is just not connecting right now for some reason.
It's just
a little off.
Just a little off. We can't find guys in the wheelhouse. I think Howe broke his stick on one. He would have scored.
Yeah. It probably would have been a goal or like a beautiful opportunity, but just snap.
Yeah, that was in the first period too.
Yeah.
That would have changed things up. Get a goal there in the first period. Maybe
it's like a lot of the Pats losses, just a bad break here, and all of a sudden, instead of it being a 2-goal lead for the Pats, it's a 1-goal lead for the Pats. It's happened a few times, or like this one was.
Yeah.
Maybe would have tied it up, but I didn't.
Yeah. But I think, by the way they kind of got outplayed, I don't think a goal early would have helped them that much. You never know, though.
It might have built them some confidence a little bit, but...
A goal does give you a little pep in the step, but, I don't know. Anyways, all right, let's move on to Swift Current. Yeah. It just, again, just another not exciting game. Like, they just kind of struggled from the get-go. Like, you give up 50 shots, like 51 shots.
For the fourth time this year, they've allowed 50 shots or more.
Jeez. Like, mid-period, Swift Current had 11 shots, and I was thinking, I'm like, this is going to be another 50-shot game. And sure enough, it was. Like, you gave up 22 in the second period. That's a lot of shots.
Like, I know I know the coaches are doing the analytics stuff, and they're preaching that grade A scoring chances be blah, blah, whatever. But when you allow 50 shots,
that's a lot.
Your team is going to get tired. when they have the puck in your zone for 2/3 of the game, it's bound to tire them out. It's bound to tire your goalie out. But
but Huey again got the start, but he bounced back. He looked real good.
Oh yeah, he was strong. He might want the one back where kind of off the arm, but
the last one, the fifth goal. I mean, by that point, with 4 minutes to go, it was pretty much
done.
It was done, but I mean, that one was a little rough. But there's some breakdowns defensively leading to a goal. And it was in their zone a lot, like you said, 50 shots. The Pats weren't able to have much offensive zone time again this game. Like, it just they couldn't generate much at all. It was just
they don't get any. They get in the zone and they can't do anything with it.
Yeah,
it's just hard to really explain.
Wasn't pretty, right? Like,
no, other than a few minutes here and there when the Pats actually looked decent.
Yeah. Again, maybe a couple things that could have changed the outcome for them. Spencer had a breakaway in the first period.
Yep.
He wasn't able to score, and then 30 seconds into the second period, there was a big scramble, and somebody should have scored. Like,
they just couldn't. They couldn't put it past Rocha.
It was loose. Yeah, like
it was there for the taking, and they just couldn't bury it.
No, so that was unfortunate. I mean, you score that one early, or you score the breakaway, one of those two, then it's a 1-1 game, early in the second period or whatever, right? But
totally. You could have turned the third game right around.
Because, once they do score those 2 goals early in the third period, you did see a little pep in their step, right? Like
100%. They were in it.
And then, but unfortunately, Swift Current scores right after the Pats scored. Like just a minute and a half later. So it was like,
big blast from the point that Huey didn't see it at all.
Yeah, he didn't see that one at all. No.
It was in the net, and he was still kind of looking for it.
Yeah, and it just snuck in the post too. Like, it didn't. Yeah. Just barely, right?
Yeah, just posting in.
So
just
that was unfortunate. Yeah.
So frustrating.
Yeah.
And I couldn't imagine how they're feeling.
Yeah, and then Temple had a really good chance as well late.
Yeah.
I think Jackson Vaughn sent over a pass, and Temple just kind of chipped at it, but it hit the top of Rocha's pad. Like, like 2 to 3 more inches, and it would have been over his pad and in the net. But Temple had a good game. He had two assists tonight. Good scoring chance there.
That was good to see.
And, Anthony Wilson got his first point as a Pat. As well.
Logan Peskett got his first fight.
Bring that one up. That was a pretty decent tilt too.
Didn't really know what he's really going to bring to the table because he's played 40-some, 50-some games. He doesn't have a ton of points.
No.
Young guy, big guy. Man, he showed he can take care of himself. Well, he did fight a little guy. He did fight Ward. It's not very big. But it was a good scrap.
Yeah, no, he's 6'2". And then the Anthony Wilson, he's a little smaller, but I don't know if you want to get and talk to these guys now about these trades that were made. Got anything else on Swift?
Nah, it's unfortunate. There are some guys. I'm sure if the Pats had a bunch of extra players around, I'm sure there'd be some veteran guys that'd be sitting. Because I think there's a few passengers. How they say it? Like, there's a few passengers, not enough guys leading the way.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, we're just fans. We're just saying it how we see it. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's tough to see, but they need to step up, right? Like they need to start scoring, doing the little things right to to give this team a chance to win, right? Like,
well, maybe a little bit of a shake-up, which has started.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to see some more shaking.
Yeah. I mean, Miller said he wanted 10 games to see what he has, and it took him 20 games before he started making moves. But like we said before, this conference really, I mean, actually the whole league, it hasn't, it's still figuring itself out, right? Like,
yeah, things haven't, yeah.
There isn't much between top and the bottom.
Yeah, no one's really actually ran away with anything yet. It's you think one team's going to run away, and all of a sudden they
lose.
They go into a little bit of a spin. Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess we'll talk about these trades, and the first one was Anthony Wilson for Mateo Michaels.
This one was kind of where did it come from? I don't think anybody was really expecting this trade.
No, I don't think so. I'm not surprised by a trade.
No, definitely not.
Because, like I said, you got to shake it up a bit. Like, you can't just keep rolling with status quo, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It sounded like Anthony Wilson requested a trade, and he hadn't been playing. He was at home, and he was waiting on a trade, and so he hadn't played in a 3 weeks. And yeah, so he comes in. Looks like he's got some speed. Like, I think he can kind of step into the Michaels spot.
Oh, yeah. Even for second line.
Yeah, well, he was on the second line in the first game.
Yeah.
So they're giving him a chance. I mean, he does have 16 goals, kind of split between Victoria and Brandon. He had 7 goals on a really poor Victoria team a couple of years ago.
Yeah. And
then another 7 goals last year between Victoria and Brandon. So he's got some offensive ability. Like I said, he's got some speed. Not the biggest guy, 5'10", but he isn't afraid to play the body. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's true. I like him. I honestly, for these 2 games, he was probably one of the best Pats in my opinion. He was hitting. He had a couple chances, but for only having maybe 1 practice,
yeah,
it's hard to really gauge it.
Yeah, I thought he stood out in the Edmonton game for sure. I mean, first game, new team, you kind of want to, do all the right things and make it
a little bit of a zip.
Yeah,
a little bit of zip in the step.
And then the next deal was what was that?
Carter Herman.
Yeah, Herman, moving him to Saskatoon for a 7th. Was it right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 7th. There it is. Yeah, so just a guy that, I mean, he hasn't made it into the lineup much. He's kind of like the extra guy. So
yeah,
I mean, I don't know how much time he's going to get in Saskatoon, but
he didn't play tonight, so I don't know.
Yeah,
he's gone from the 7th defenseman here to 7th defenseman there, maybe.
Yeah, kind of thing, right? But Saskatoon looking for some depth with an older guy, right?
Yeah, well, and they're going to be losing Molendijk probably for the World Juniors, I would assume. So he'll get some time, I'm sure.
Yeah, just some older depth for a team that it wants to make a run, right?
Yeah, he's played 38 games or whatever, so he has played some. So
yeah, 38. Yeah, that's. But as an 18,
and
it's not a lot, but
yeah, and with Bridgman coming back, like soon. If Western Hockey League would put out their weekly report, we might actually see when. But
yeah, it'd be nice to see that.
It sounds like he's coming back pretty quick. In the press release or whatever, they figured that Bridget will be back shortly. So
yeah,
that'll be good. Then the Pats will have their full complement plus their extra guy.
They'll have 7. So
yeah,
and to get a pick for him, I mean, basically, do they flip that same pick? No, they didn't. But
I don't think so. No, the release it just says a 7th 26 7th round pick.
So then in the next deal, they flip a 27 7th rounder and a 25th 5th rounder for Logan Peskett from Kelowna.
Yeah, another trade that kind of came. Well, I don't know if it was out of nowhere, but it was kind of weird,
Yeah,
unexpected.
yeah, younger guy,
Yeah,
17. So, I mean, I don't really, you don't really know what you're getting. Well, we don't, anyways, right? But we've
he's
seen it a bit
big.
here. Yeah, he's
He's
big.
he's pretty big. He's 6'2", 196 ish.
Yeah,
So
and he has
he's
4 career goals. But I mean, he's only 17. He played 40 games with Kelowna last year. 3 goals, 2 assists. A -9. That's not terrible on a not a great Kelowna team last year.
yeah, and all depends like how much did he play. By the sounds of
Yeah,
things,
yeah,
he didn't play a ton. So
probably not. I mean, you look at his EP or Hockey DB page. He doesn't have a a big scoring kind of
doesn't have
seasons.
overwhelming stats
Yeah,
in his younger years. But hey, that doesn't mean anything. He could turn into something extra.
yeah. You never know. I mean, it's a 7th rounder. He was drafted in the 6th round. Pats gave up a 7th for him. I mean, it's just another forward. Some more options. A little bit
Well, and the
different.
Pats want to get bigger and younger, and they're getting a little bit bigger there. And he's 17, so you can't really get much younger in a trade.
No, you can't anymore, right? That's the only
Yeah,
thing is you can't pick up these 16-year-olds. That unfortunately you can work with for a few years. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, I guess you have the 17 for 2+ years. You never know. As a 20, right? You're not guaranteed that. So, yeah, and they played the Alan Miller interview. I think it must have been from Wednesday, the intermission on Wednesday's game. They played it in the first intermission tonight in the Swift Current game, and yeah, he talked about getting a little bigger, a little younger. Obviously, this team is old.
Yeah, it's one of the oldest teams in the league.
Yeah, and so and like I said, he wants to start making his mark. Figuring things out the way he wants to play, and obviously they want to be a little bigger, a little stronger, stuff like that. So he brings that obviously.
Yeah, for sure. And there's gonna be more moves coming pretty quick. If Sim is seems to be getting closer and closer to coming back, they're gonna have to make another move for sure somewhere,
Yeah,
either with him or with the defense.
yeah, and like we've talked
It's,
about
it's it's
before,
not
but
it's not ideal having three 20s on D.
no, it isn't, right? And like I said, QA is going to be gone for World Juniors, so you're going to need another goalie. Sim will be available by then, probably.
Oh
So,
yeah,
so it'll be
he's.
interesting.
I think
What?
he's closer than that.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting what they do. Um, you never know. There could be more deals here this week. Like I said, it needs a little bit of a shake up. I think you need a little bit more shake up front. Need to change it up a bit here because it's getting a little. I don't want to say stale, but they're struggling.
Yeah, it's yeah. Sounds sounds like a pretty accurate assessment right there.
Yeah. All right. Well, what else you got?
I don't know. It's just been kind of a blah week.
Yeah.
Two not so good games, 3 goals, allowing like 80 some shots in those 2 games.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like in Brandon, when we heard that post game interview, they said, okay, well, yeah, we outchanced them and we didn't give up many grade A scoring chances. Well, that didn't happen in Swift Current. The Pats didn't outchance them. They gave up quite a few good scoring chances in Swift.
Huey made some unbelievable saves.
Yeah,
Like
he
holy
did.
smokes.
He
Like
stood on
Dante
his
would say,
head.
"Holy smokes."
It was like I don't know how 5 minutes into the game, he's like, "Oh, there's the save of the game right there already."
Yeah, that was. I don't even think that was 5 minutes. That was like 2 minutes into the game. It was
Yeah.
early. But yeah,
So it was nice to see him bounce back, right? Like
yes,
after a little
oh
bit of
for
a
sure.
tough one against Edmonton. Yeah, he gave up 5 goals tonight, but it looked a lot better, right?
Oh, 100%. Like he was all over the place. He kept the Pats in it until he couldn't anymore.
Yeah. So that's first time either goalie's got 3 starts in a row. So I guess we'll see what happens on Wednesday. It is Medicine Hat.
And it's
Um,
3-4. So
yeah. I should bring up the schedule here, unless you've got it handy.
Medicine at Edmonton Red Deer.
Yeah. So Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in Medicine Hat, like I said, the team, one of the teams that's kind of starting to pull away from the pack, especially in this East. You know, them and them and Saskatoon are kind of, you know, 3 points ahead of Moose Jaw and PA for third and fourth. So they're kind of.
Moose Jaw lost tonight too, so.
Yeah, Saskatoon beat them. They're kind of starting to break away a little bit. So that's going to be a tough game in Medicine Hat. They've got some serious skill, like they can score.
Yeah, and they're high flying.
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't see another 50 shots against, because that would be not good.
Yeah, you think about 50 shots tonight. They gave up 5 goals. Well, that's not bad, right? That's still your .900 save percentage.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But if you give up 50 shots to Medicine Hat, you might be giving up 10.
Yeah,
so,
8 to 10.
So it could be ugly if it's another one like that. And then
hope not. I hope they regroup. They got time to regroup. They need to just. This one they can kind of, like they said, they weren't going to put the Wednesday game behind them. They were going to watch it or whatever and learn from it. Hopefully this one they can put behind them and say go to Alberta, learn, just play some hockey.
Yeah. And then you said, what was that? What was the next game? Friday
against Edmonton, Saturday against Red Deer.
Yeah. Okay. So Edmonton again there.
The rematch.
Yeah. It's not going to be a trap game because you know what you're getting into this time, right? They can outwork you, and they will, and they'll beat you. So, and then Red Deer, seen them here once, beat them in overtime, I think it was. And then
they're underachieving, but they went and shut out Calgary tonight. So
there you go. Yeah. They don't score a lot of goals, but they don't give up many goals either.
No, definitely not.
They've got the third fewest goals against in the whole conference, and they're in second last place. They've given up 59 goals, but they've only scored 52, which is the fewest.
Yeah, they don't score a ton.
No. So that'll be a key there.
Lately, the Pats haven't either, so hopefully, they can get back on track. Because they were really scoring at a decent pace, and now just these last few games just kind of, not so good.
They're minus 12 in differential now, where they were kind of hovering around that 0 mark with the last couple games, right? Some big scores, kind of dropped them down a bit. But I mean, the Pats could get a couple wins here on this road trip. You jump back up into, that 3rd, 4th, 5th spot instead of sitting at 8th.
I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to predict for these 3 games. I'm overestimating them in these last couple games.
Well, yeah, I know, right? You figured you should have seen at least one win this week, if not two winnable games.
Well, one would have been nice, like if an effort. Like,
no, you just froze there. So, but.
Yeah, same. Yeah, like a full 60-minute effort would have been nice, or at least a full 55-minute effort would have been nice for one of these 2 games.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It's just the time of the year. There was a trade made. A couple trades got made. A couple guys left. It's like I don't know if it's the whole family aspect, or the whole family aspect. Like they keep on talking about family and love for each other or whatever. Maybe that got jarred. Maybe the chemistry is just a little bit off until these guys actually get practicing. Pescott probably didn't practice.
No, I'm surprised I didn't see him play tonight.
Wilson might have had one practice. Yeah, he had one practice because he was there.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 practices, but that's not very much.
No. And maybe some guys are on edge now too, right?
Oh,
a couple moves have been made. Oh, am I next? Or I got to play better, but maybe they're doing whatever. They're not doing the right thing now because they're, I don't want to say scared, because I mean
gripping the stick a little tighter, a little bit. Maybe they're a little worried that maybe they'll be next. Like who knows? Like, I don't think Miller has any allegiance to any of the players, and I don't blame him because it's not his team, it's not his players.
Yeah.
So he has no allegiances. He's only had them for what 22 games or whatever it is now.
Yeah, 23. So
23 now, yeah. So who's safe? The 16s, the 17s, everybody else could be available.
yeah, I mean,
We don't know. Like
yeah, right.
if they go on this 3-game Alberta trip and they lose all three,
Oof,
it could be time. Maybe it'd
to
be
blow it
time
up.
for him to really blow it up.
Yeah, you don't
Or
know.
if they win 2, hey, what do you do? So it's like there's still lots of what ifs. It's like you said that the divisions or the conference is so close that do you want to blow it up and miss a chance to
Potentially
maybe
miss.
make the
Yeah,
playoffs,
because
or do you
it's
want to just hang tough and hope for
and
the
just squeak
best?
in.
Like
Yeah, I don't know,
because
but
there's no. Go ahead.
this team is, like we said, this team is old. I think you got to move on from some of these 19s, right? You can only keep 3.
Yeah, yeah. Next year, yeah.
So I think, and especially like almost none of them are really. I think,
A couple are snake bitten. A couple just
yeah, they're
aren't
just not
super
up to.
offensive. It's just their whole career they're not offensive. Like it's no
Yeah,
offense to them. Good penalty killers, good grinder guys, but they're not scoring any goals. And 19. This is a like John Paddock used to say. This is a
yeah,
19-year-old league. I know John Paddock isn't the GM or anything anymore, but the 19s unfortunately aren't scoring much.
yeah. They're supposed to be driving your.
Spencer is just snake bitten. Vallis gets a couple opportunities, but he just can't he just can't buy a goal.
No.
And Barnett Rowan, they're killing penalties or they're playing the grind line really well, but you need more from 19s.
Yeah,
Can't
you just
can't
need more.
expect everything from Howe. Can't expect a bunch from the kids.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? Like, I don't even know
Yeah,
what to say, right?
I'm at a loss. I think these next 3 games, well, next 4, because there'll be 4 road games before the next home game. I think this might decide what happens by the time the deadline hits. So
Yeah, this could not make or break them, but yeah, if they
could
really
help.
take a
Could
slide,
definitely help decide. If
yeah,
they slide, I think it's time to blow it up. Or I guess it all depends on what other teams do too. Like if Calgary slides or Edmonton goes into a slide, like right, who knows? It's so tight. Even the bottom teams are
not far.
close enough to the playoffs. Like
Exactly,
who's going to really want to blow up?
exactly, and with losing Winnipeg to and then moving to the West, there's only 3 teams that don't make the playoffs, so there's a better chance to make the playoffs now, right?
Exactly. So it's like,
So
what do you
yeah,
do?
I know, like, but they do, yeah, I
And
think,
there is no Winnipeg like last year where they were running away with things.
yeah, no,
And if you got into 8th place, you're in trouble.
hmm like I think
So
probably the 2 most dominant teams are probably PG and Portland out in the West, right? Like they seem to be a little more. I mean,
and PA is beating Portland right now 2-1. So
there you go, right? Like,
I know it's still it's early as well. 7 minutes left when we record this. There's 7 minutes left in the third,
yeah,
and PA is up. So
yeah. But you look at Prince George. We've only seen them once. We've seen Saskatoon 4 times. They have the same record, but it just seems like Prince George is really running away with things out there, even though they do have the same record. But I don't know, just we've seen Saskatoon. We know Saskatoon. We know what they're about, and have beaten them twice. It just seems like the Pats can play with Saskatoon. It didn't seem like the Pats could play with Prince George,
yeah,
right? So, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting, right?
yeah. This week, I think it'll be not like you said, not make or break, but it might help determine what goes down in the
Yeah.
near future.
And there was one other thing I was thinking about listening to that interview with Alan Miller. I know they brought up, Suzulev not coming back and having an open import spot, and he mentioned that him and John kind of decided at the import draft who to take. Like he he said he didn't want to take just some guy that was going to come over. Like they wanted the Solberg kid, because he's a higher end prospect, and like he's playing pro over there, and he's like, it's not a guarantee to get him, but you don't just take a guy, right? He's like, we wanted to take somebody that is going to come over here and make a difference. So, and he's like,
Yeah.
So,
and it was also, I think it might have been also a good idea to take a guy that might not come this year, but is good next year, because they were hoping for Sustolev to come back.
That too. Yeah. I think not they were hoping. I think they were probably maybe
they were planning on it.
Yeah. I think he was kind of expecting to come back. I mean, like he mentioned, he does have stuff to work on in his game. That was pretty evident here.
But he would score. He would score goals no matter where he played.
Yes. Oh, for sure.
If it was with the Pats or if it was with another team in the Western Hockey League, he'd score goals.
Most definitely, right? And obviously, if you want to play pro in North America here, you gotta have a little bit more rounded out game. But he's going back to Sweden, play pro there, and work on it, right? So, obviously Miller was disappointed, but it is what it is. And yeah, he said Solberg, obviously he's going to get drafted, so it'll be up to the team to decide on where he plays next year. And it's another Newport client, so I think Bedard, Howe, Suzulev, all those guys are with Newport, so the team has a pretty good relationship with that agency as well. He mentioned, so
yeah,
I think that's a good thing as well. So
yeah, hopefully,
yeah. I mean, it's not
they have had good rapport with a few other agencies as well, but certain players haven't come over.
Yeah, no, for sure, right? And Suzulev didn't come back, right? So it isn't always up to the agent or
it's not 100%.
No, so
it's nice to have the tie there, but it's not always 100%.
Right? Always good to have that relationship and deal with them on a regular basis. But I think that's about all I got. So I mean, like, really, Medicine Hat is going to be a real tough one, and then you got to take at least one or two out of the weekend games for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But hey, if they can get 3, great. If they can get 2, awesome. If they get 1, I'll be happy. If they go over,
that'd be
that's all I can say.
5-game skid here.
And then they travel to Brandon
when they get back.
Just the first part of December there. So yeah.
Yeah, I guess. And plus, the first game back on the 2nd against Swift Current is the Teddy Bear Toss night. So
yeah, don't forget your teddy bears.
Shout that out. I mean, that'll be after next week as well. But
yeah, well, we'll bring it up now because it might not be super exciting next week to talking. So yeah,
can't be much worse than this week either. But
definitely not.
It is what it is. I mean, it's up and down. It's junior hockey.
Yeah, and they've already exceeded expectations in a lot of people's mind.
Maybe that's the disappointing part, because we've seen them play so well. Not that we didn't expect them to play well. Maybe we didn't expect this much success this early.
Yeah, so and we got hyped up for them.
Yeah, we got a little high, and then they're coming back to reality maybe a little bit here.
The reality check is kind of ouchy.
Happening. Yeah,
a little bit ouchy there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but especially the teams that they played, like, they were winnable games, right? If they would have been a little bit better effort or whatever, right?
Well, it's just like last year when Edmonton came in near the end of the season, and they came and beat the Pats. Like, it was supposed to be a sure win. They had 10 wins last year, and it was supposed to be a sure win. And was it 3-2 or 4-3, whatever it was? Yeah.
Yep. They came in here and got one of their 10 wins. So. Yeah, that's why you play the game, right? Nothing's won or lost on paper, so.
Exactly. That's why they play the games, as Dante quoted me on the radio after the last game, or the Edmonton games. That's why they play the game.
Yeah, that's right. We heard that in the car leaving the rink, the end of the post-game show there. But, yeah.
That's why they play the games.
Well, with that, we should roll. That's enough of this crappy week, right? So,
yes, I agree.
At least we had something else to talk about, some exciting stuff.
Hopefully it's an up week next week, or at least it's a decent-ish week.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's an effort there from the guys. Maybe getting away, like like an actual trip, a bonding
Yeah.
trip and stuff
Road
like that
trip.
might help them. Hopefully, because remember last year, I know different team, different people around, but maybe getting away for a few days just to get away might be the best thing for this team.
Yeah, for sure.
Here's hoping. Like you can't deny the team has won. They know how to play. They've won some games, so
Yeah.
they just need to get back to basics or whatever, and not allow 50 shots every game.
Yeah.
Especially against Medicine Hat, like you said.
Yeah. All right. Last note before we go. 8:00 starts. Medicine Hat, Edmonton Red Deer, and the Edmonton game will be on Access, and we'll be doing the panel again like we did in the playoffs. Can't forget that. Almost forgot about mentioning that. So we'll be on the panel again.
Woohoo!
So yeah,
Get to see our lovely mugs.
Yeah, exactly.
For those of you that have Access TV or the Access app.
Yeah. So hopefully it's not a crap game and we have something fun to talk about there.
That would be awesome.
All right. With that, we should get out of here. So I guess, yeah. Well, don't see you at the rink. Check us out on Access Friday night, 8 p.m. Edmonton. All right. Have a good night, folks.
Have a good one.